So, if you live in the Caribbean and you earn a good salary, maybe you're a doctor, an engineer, or a business owner, a senior manager, you probably think you earn well financially. You make decent money. You have a nice home, you can afford the things that your family needs. But here's what most professionals in this region don't fully understand: your wealth is being drained in ways that never show up on your bank account. And it's not because you're spending too much or because you're not working hard enough. It's because of how global capital flows work and how the Caribbean is positioned inside of that system. That's what I want to talk about today. The Caribbean, with some exceptions, is largely a net importer. We import food, fuel, manufactured goods, technology. Most of what we consume comes from somewhere else. To buy those things, we need hard currency, primarily US dollars. Now, where do those dollars come from? Tourism helps, remittances helps. Some countries have oil and natural gas, like Trinidad. But for the most part, the US dollars that circulate in Caribbean economies come from a relatively narrow set of sources. Now, here's the problem: global capital doesn't stay still. When international investors, corporations, and financial institutions move money into and out of regions, they're not thinking about your salary. They're not thinking about whether you can afford school fees next year. They're thinking about returns, risk, and where capital will be treated best. And what we've seen over the past decade, accelerated recently, is capital flowing out of emerging and frontier markets, including the Caribbean, and into US dollar assets, US treasuries, US equities, US real estate. Now, every time that happens, the pressure on Caribbean currencies increases. Your central bank has fewer reserves, your currency weakens, or if it's pegged, the government has to borrow more to defend it. Either way, the purchasing power of what you earn goes down. This isn't conspiracy theory. It isn't doom and gloom. It's how the system works. If you earn in EC dollars or TT dollars or Jamaican dollars or Bayesian dollars, you are, in a very real sense, swimming against the tide that is trying to pull value away from you. And the professionals who understand this are already adjusting. The ones who don't, well, they're the ones who will wonder 10 years from now why their good salary doesn't feel good anymore. So, let me make this personal. I work with professionals who earn what would be considered excellent salaries in their countries. Doctors making six figures in local currency, engineers with decades of experience, business owners running successful operations. And here's what many of them tell me: I make good money, but I simply don't feel secure. They feel this way because they're starting to notice something. The numbers on their paycheck haven't changed much, but what those numbers can actually buy, especially anything imported, anything connected to global markets, keeps getting more and more expensive. This is what currency depreciation, or the threat of it, feels like in real life. Your rent might be stable, your local groceries might be manageable, but the car you want to buy, the laptop you need for work, the medical equipment for your practice, the international school fees, the trip to see family abroad, all of it gets more expensive in local currency terms. And if you're someone who dreams of building real wealth, not just surviving, but actually building something that lasts, this dynamic is a serious problem. Because even if you save aggressively, even if you invest in local assets, you're still operating inside a system where the currency you earn is under structural pressure. Think about it this way: if you had saved $1 million Trinidad and Tobago dollars 10 years ago, what would that be worth in US dollar terms today? If you had saved $1 million Jamaican dollars, well, the math is uncomfortable, but it's real. So, what do you do about this? Now, there are a few options, and most of them have serious limitations. Option 1: you could try to move abroad, earn in US dollars directly, but that's simply not realistic for everyone. Family ties, professional licenses, age, personal circumstances, not everyone can or wants to relocate. Option 2: you could try to buy US dollar assets, US stocks, maybe some real estate, if you can access it, that is. This is better than nothing, but you're still limited by how much local currency you can convert and by capital controls in some jurisdictions like Trinidad. Option 3: you could build a skill that generates US dollars directly, regardless of where you live. Now, this is where I focus, and this is where trading comes in, but not in a way that most people think. I'm not talking about gambling. I'm not talking about following signals from some Telegram group or trying to get rich quick. I'm talking about treating trading as a serious skill. like learning to code or getting professional certification or building any other income generating capabilities. When you learn to trade structured, disciplined, professional level strategies, what you're actually building is the ability to generate income in the strongest currency in the world from anywhere in the world. That's optionality. That's resilience. That's the ability to not be fully dependent on a single local economy or a single currency. Building a US dollar based skill through structured trading is not for everyone. It is not for people looking for excitement. It's not for gamblers. It's not for people who want to quit their job next month. It is for professionals who are serious about long term financial resilience. People who understand that the world is changing and the old rules of getting a good job and you'll be fine simply don't apply the way they used to. People who are willing to put in the work to learn a new skill, not just follow tips. And if that's you, if you're a professional in the Caribbean who recognizes what I'm describing, who feels that tension between your good salary and your actual financial security, then I want to talk to you. I run a mentorship program specifically for professionals like this. People who want to build a second skill, a second stream, and exposure to stronger currencies. If what I said in this video resonates with you, there's a link in the description where you can actually apply. We'll have a conversation. I'll ask you some questions. You'll ask me some questions, and we'll see if it makes sense to work together. So, the Caribbean, let me be clear, is not a bad place to live. It's home. It's where our families are. It's where we've built our lives. But we have to be realistic about the economic structures we operate inside. And we have to be proactive about protecting ourselves. A good salary is not the same as financial security. Understanding that distinction and doing something about it is what separates professionals who will thrive from those who will struggle. If you found this video valuable, please subscribe. I'll be releasing more content about financial resilience, structured trading, and what it takes to build real optionality in uncertain times. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.